Good morning, good morning, good morning. It's Elizabeth Elenor. Make peace. I just changed my name on social media and finally acknowledged that my last name is Make Peace. um, I've been doing a lot of podcasts lately, and someone just said to me, like, your last name's Make Peace. You should put that in everywhere so that people recognize the whole thing and what's going on for you. So just check in to see if I'm on. I am. Would love for you to say hi in the chat if you're watching live. And things are going to be shifting, so I'll share some stuff. And if you're watching the replay, please put hashtag replay so we can come in and say hi to you. So we've got some big things changing. My world is breaking down from one pattern into a new pattern, and that's really in alignment with what we're doing and talking about today, which is success and soul connection, like deep soul connection, and balancing the two, because I got to tell you, it's a little bit tricky. We were talking a little bit about it today in my Conscious Creator Circle, and my whole world is breaking down at the moment because I'm really deeply listening to what my soul is telling me to do. And there's layers, guys. There's layers and layers of how your soul comes through, because, our mind wants to hold on for dear life, and it's job. It's the way it's been, it's created, it's here, it's part of the process. The whole thing is designed that way. But because of that, it can be really tricky for the soul to get through and to actually hear what it's got to say and what it actually came here to experience. Because, here we are going through one life. We don't remember being born, but we start having memories of this life and being in this body. And I know personally, I'd love for you to share, give me some love hearts or something if you've been through more than one life in this life. I know that I've been through about 3 or 4 lives this life already, right? However, your soul is so much bigger than that, and it's got thousands of lives that it's experienced potentially, right? And it is experiencing on a whole different level to what this little body is doing and this little mind is doing. And so it's got a bit of an agenda of what it would choose to experience down here, what it would like to do to evolve. And then we've got our little agenda. They're sort of conditioned and influenced by what's happening in the world. We turned up at this time and space, in this location, to have this moment and recognize that we are going through a process of transformation on the planet. I watched a movie last night called Here, Here. A friend of mine shared it with me, and it was really beautiful because it was all about this one block of land, or this one space of land, and the whole movie was set in various different times, and it sort of it didn't go linear, but it went backwards and forwards. And this one block of land, or this one patch of land, from when the dinosaurs, before the dinosaurs, and when it was all, bubbling with lava or whatever, all the way through to this generation, it showed this land and what it had experienced. There was a number of times people died on that block of land, the weather and what it experienced, the different cars that were going past outside the window. And it sort of represented what our soul's like, right? Our soul sees many, many different lives, and it experiences many different lives. And is sort of like the block of land now that I'm thinking about it, because it's innate. It's got, or it doesn't have. It's got a bit of an agenda, but it doesn't care what that agenda is or how long that agenda is going to take, right? And so through that process, our soul wants to experience a certain thing, but then our unconscious or our mind gets influenced by the things that are in our life right now. And we get stuck in societal patterns. So before we go any further, one of the things that are changing here on pause is that we're going to pause. We're going to pause and we're going to take a moment to just check in with ourselves. Just tune in. How are you feeling today? What, out of 10, what like level are you? Did you wake up feeling good? Did you feel like a bit average? Did you feel, a bit poorly? I woke up at 3 o'clock this morning and I haven't been able to go back to sleep. And so I've had to accelerate my energy because I can already feel myself wanting to go back to sleep, right? But I've got a full day of stuff going on today. So let's just take a moment and gently close our eyes. And just take a nice deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. And set the intention just to pause, just to have a moment in time, a little bit of space. Breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth. And just feeling into your body, allowing yourself to come back into your body. After now, spirit is out, our soul is out of the body, half in, half out. Even feel into the bottom of your feet. Bring your awareness and attention back to yourself now. And just check in with yourself. How am I feeling? If I was to do a scale of 1 to 10. So today I feel like I'm at about a 7. I was a little bit lower than that this morning, but right now I'm at about a 7. So when you get to pause, now you're giving your space. Now you're giving your mind a little bit of time to relax and to stop trying to take over. To stop trying to do all of the things. And when you do that, it allows your soul to come in. It allows your spirit, your soul to take up space. I'd love for you to put in the chat where you're at today, where you're watching from, and also what number you are. Can you feel how you're a little bit grounded? I know that I'm a little bit more grounded. And today we're going to be talking about success and deep soul connection. Because as I was saying before, when we are in this physical body, we are influenced by all the external goings on, all the things that happened in our past, all of that's locked in. It's dictating how you view yourself and the world. And all the things that are going on now. So, social media is a good one. TV, family, friends, partners, people in your industry, people in your business or your job, your career. All of this is external noise. And for you to succeed, for you to really deeply connect in with what it is that you're choosing to create, it's about internal knowing. And to a certain degree, it's closing the doors to some of that noise. It's really about taking ownership of your own energy field, taking responsibility. Because when we allow that noise to come in, now we're not in our own space. Now we've got everyone and their dog here making decisions with us, right? And influencing the decisions of what our soul wants, what we want to experience, right? What our success is. So there's a dichotomy to this, right? Because we came to experience, and we want that influence to be part of that process. But what has happened in society is that noise has just got louder and louder and louder, and now we're addicted to the noise. I want you just to bring awareness to, are you someone that wakes up in the morning and reaches for your phone? Are you looking for that external validation or something to distract you from your internal environment? It can be an addiction, right? It's a dopamine, what they call a dopamine hit. I couldn't say the word properly. A dopamine hit, because our eyes want to get that stimulation, and our energy, like our emotional system, wants to have some sort of chemical reaction of dopamine to feel valid, right? And we've been conditioned. If you're my age, I'm 54 this year in September. If you're my age and younger, my age and older, you will have been raised to slowly be on a screen. If you're younger, you don't know anything else but screens, right? And so our success can be influenced by this external world that's on the screen. And because of that, you can use that to your advantage and watch things like this. You can make choices of what you're watching on TV, or what you're, you can be putting in good input. You can be using it to your advantage and raising your vibration, raising your awareness, living in your highest potential by allowing the input to influence you to be in a positive space, state of mind, vibration, all of those things. But even that if you don't stop at one stage and you're just learning and inputting all this information from your external world, right, being influenced by all the things that are around us, then there's no time to hear that inner voice. There's no time to recognize your own genius, that internal wisdom that's saying, hey, this is how it's going to work for you. This is what you need to do. You need to turn left here. I know everyone else is turning right, but you need to turn left. Because what happens when we're influenced by the external world, we see everyone else turning right, so we think that must be the path that is the best for all of us. And we turn right as well. We, pick up the phones, we get the right job, we, get influenced what the right partner is, so that we're seen and heard and validated by society, all of those things. We turn right and wonder why we're not happy, why we're feeling overwhelmed, why we are feeling alone in a crowd, lonely in a crowd, separate, disassociated. Because our nervous system is wired to listening to the influences of others instead of being bound to the structure of the internal guidance. So success comes from that deep soul connection, because no one knows your path better than your soul. We're moving, and I keep saying it over and over again, we have just moved out of the age of Pisces into the age of Aquarius. And it's bizarre that it keeps coming up for me, because I'm not into astrology. I know I'm a Virgo, and that's it. I don't know what my rising moon, or I don't know any of that stuff, right? It's never been something I've been interested in. But this really interests me, because I remember being little and walking past the TV, and it's going to make me teary. I remember walking past the TV and seeing Woodstock, right? Now, I was born in 71, so Woodstock had already happened, right? The Peace, Love Among Beings, it was the biggest concert festival ever, anywhere. And I was old enough, I don't know how old I was, but I was old enough to identify it, because they were giving it an anniversary, whatever it was, right? And I was old enough to be able to hear what they were saying and comprehend. And I had this thing come into my head that went, oh my gosh, I've come down too late. And then my mind went, come down from where, and too late for what? Like, what are you even talking about? Well, the older I got, and the traumas that happened that turned into triumphs, I recognized that I was here to support the planet to shift in vibration. And I believe all of us are, right? I had this knowing that we are here to raise the vibration of the planet. And when 2012 happened, I thought, oh, here it is. This is what I'm here for. Well, not many people saw the shift that happened in 2012, because it was vibrational. It was an energetic shift. It was a consciousness shift. And we're going through another one right now. So we have just moved from the age of Pisces, which is all about dominance and control, corporate, masculine energy, structured, rigid, right? Rules, regulations, laws. And we're moving into the age of Aquarius, which is all about self-authority. It's a whole different ball game. And we get the opportunity to experience it. We get to be here in this moment to watch the world crumble, the old structures fall apart, and the new, the old, the ancient wisdom, the feminine come through, and the roots start growing, these beautiful new plants, this beautiful greenery that's going to happen. I just had this vision of the cement crumbling and breaking apart as these shoots of green start growing. But for growth to happen, there's got to be destruction. And so success happens when you're truly success with your soul. Like, you can get success in the old structure. You can get successful in the dysfunctional, wounded masculine, right? Masculine is the structure. Feminine is the void, is the creativity, it's where things are manifested, right? Created. This is our inspiration, right? This is where the inspired ideas come from. Something pops into your head. That's from the feminine. The masculine moves it into the building blocks to create that. And so we have been living in this very masculine orientated, structured container, and it's becoming weak because you cannot, universal laws govern that you cannot have this out of balance energy. And so it's starting to break apart. So you can create in that, but it doesn't have a lot of depth to it. It doesn't have a lot of fulfillment and joy. It has a superficial energy to it, but it doesn't have the depth of when you can balance the two, when you can bring in that feminine energy of listening to your internal wisdom, the part of you that was born before this body, that was created, like, I think that's always been here. That part of us that has knowledge far beyond our capability to understand in this limited little mind. That part of us that wants to see us thrive and be inspired and create and love and have fulfillment. When we have that balance of the two, that's when our soul is connected to our success. And that's when you see things like time collapses and miracles happen, like walking down the beach and meeting, the love of my life. The universe orchestrated that. How many people grow up with the last name Payne, Payne, become a healer and meet a guy with the last name Makepeace? How many people get the opportunity to have 3 shooting stars when they're saying, hey, am I a witch? Am I on the wrong track here? And am I working for the wrong side? I'm not going any further until you give me a sign. And right in that very moment, 3 shooting stars. Because I wasn't asking my mind to give me the sign. I was asking my heart. I was asking my spirit. I was asking my soul. I was asking God. I was asking for connection. The old ways are falling apart. We are just in the very throes of it right now. And what you're seeing out there in the big wide world is all meant to be. This breaking down of structures, breaking down of, corporations, religions, all the things that we are so comfortable in because it's been that structure for so long. It's all falling apart, and it will be for a while. To be on the success of the other side means really deeply, truly understanding what your soul is here to experience. And your soul knows it's got your back. It's here to move you into your highest vibration, into your highest potential, into your wisdom. You just have to surrender and give it the space to listen. Now, what I hear a lot out there in the big wide world is there's a lot of chaos, and there's a lot of people not listening to themselves. Their mind is too busy to even meditate and be in that stillness. And there's a lot of pain in that. When the mind is busy, is painful. Is rooted in fear and doubt and worry. I've got to tell you, it's really liberating to not be in those spaces anymore. To be in complete surrender regardless of what's going on in my world. I've got a lot going on. I have just changed my whole formatting. My Conscious Creator Circle that's been going for 5 years will no longer have live sessions. No live coaching calls. I'm opening it up to, it's got 5 years of content. There are hundreds and hundreds of recodes in there. I'm opening it up so that people can go in as a standalone course, and people can go in and access it for a super cheap price. And that is because my higher self is saying, you've got other things coming. That was a big thing for me to let go of. The structure, the masculine energy that wanted to stay in the rigid structure because this is the way it's always been done. It held on for a little while, I tell you. It was a little bit hard to actually let go of that. To step into the unknown and to say, okay, I'm ready. I'm going to go into the unknown, and you guide me and you show me. I still don't know exactly what my next container looks like. All I know is that that is going to break free. I've got a little bit of an idea. I know that one of the things that I'm supporting people in here is to understand their intuition, to understand that voice. And we've got a course, a 7-day immersion coming up. It starts this Sunday. It's called Child of the New Moon, so it's over the new moon process. We've had 30 people go through that before. Got some great results. Actually, I haven't been sharing them in this group, so I'll share some of them today. We've got some great results from that course before. If you're wanting to understand what your intuition is and how to listen to it and hear your soul who's guiding you all the way, and recognizes how to help you navigate some of those pitfalls and those potholes without having to fall into them, which I see a lot of people doing at the moment, then we will put the link into the comments. Starts this Sunday. I think it's like, I don't know, 127 or something like that. For 7 days is a really powerful course. So it's cheap as chips. It's time. If you're over feeling emotionally drained, confused, overwhelmed, then it means you're not listening to yourself. You're listening outside way too much. That's it. One thing that I do want to share is that because I'm shifting things with my Conscious Creator Circle, I'm going to change the time for pause, because this isn't a good time. A lot of people miss it because they're going to work or whatever. And so I'm making pause at 7 o'clock instead on a Tuesday. And I will see you next week. Take care.